Sometimes I think that was the toughest part of the entire cancer journey, was those first 2 weeks. You kind of fluctuate between resolve and defeatism and surprise, and it's just an absolute roller coaster. I'd started occasionally having blood in my stool, and of course went through the doctors, my primary care, and then through some specialists. They try to rule out things that could cause that aren't as serious as cancer, and eventually it was to go for a colonoscopy. So at that time, I got told that day, right after the procedure, that that's what was going on. It was a tough day. I had to go home. My dad was waiting for me, so I had to tell my dad pretty much immediately, and go from there. Eventually you have to tell your kids. That was probably the toughest part, and that was after a few days, once we had more information, so we could answer their questions better. But the recommendation was from the specialist to take it in front of the Sparrow Tumor Board and get treatment through there. I took that recommendation. I went through 4 full months of chemo, and I had oral chemo and radiation treatments for a few weeks. And after the radiation is given a little bit of time to settle, for a better term, then I went through with the surgery, which was to remove part of my colon and rectum. I've loved the care that I've gotten at Sparrow. When you first get your cancer diagnosis, you will have a lot of questions. You will have an immediacy that you need them answered. And I think that the caregivers at Sparrow understand that. Not only Dr. Thomas, but her nurse, Sharon, and the other nurses. If I put a message into the portal, I got a reply. If I called them because I was freaking out a little bit more than that, I got a call back. So there's a long window where this is very catchable, very treatable. They treat it right during the colonoscopy. So certainly whenever that window is appropriate for you, I would recommend anyone go for it at that time and don't delay. I certainly considered myself to be a lifelong procrastinator, and this is one thing that I would not recommend anybody procrastinate on. So I'm coming up on 3 years, which is a pretty significant milestone, at least for the type of cancer I had. Feeling generally great. There's some side effects, and it's certainly not without its physical and metaphorical scars. You can't get a test for how cancer and cancer treatment has impacted you mentally, but it has absolutely changed me in a way that I have to get comfortable with. But, I'm still me. I'm still able to do almost everything I want to be able to do. I'm still here, and that's just one significant bump in the road, hopefully, as I look back